Hello, welcome to Daily Wellbeing with Gemma. Today I want us to have a look at something a little bit reflective, and that is writing a letter to your future self. So it's really good because in this moment it can help you with your well-being because you get to process how you're feeling, what you're thinking about. But also it's quite nice knowing that you're going to get to enjoy it later, and it might pick up your mood or be something you can look back on in a particular time frame. So I'm going to give you a couple of questions to have a think about to help you with this process. So the first thing really is, when are you going to open this letter? And that might make a difference to what kind of stuff you put into it. And it might be that you use a time deadline, such as I will open it when lockdown is finished. I will open it in 3 months, in a year's time. Maybe you won't open it at all. Maybe you'll kind of leave it for a future generation to look at. Or maybe you'll open it based on a feeling, such as when I need a boost in my mood, that's when I'll open it. So decide what your conditions are going to be, because that might change the type of content that you put into your letter. I've not put it on this list, but depending on how far in the future you think you'll be opening it, you might want to give some biographical context. So say a little bit about when you were writing it, what was going on for you. Again, if you're only going to open it in a month's time, that might not be so relevant. And then in terms of other things to cover, you might want to talk about things that you've learned about yourself, or learned about society, or topics that you picked up during the lockdown process for you. And sometimes writing this stuff down is quite interesting, because when you write it, you realise how much it's been. And also, as time passes, you might forget that you've learned things, because when things become internal, they might be automatic, and so you don't appreciate them as much. So writing them down can be a little bit of a boost. You might write down things that you're grateful for. This experience of lockdown has probably reminded a lot of us of people that we enjoy being with, activities we enjoy doing, or it might even just be being grateful for, a place to stay and be comfortable while we're going through this. So maybe noting down some of the things that you've really deeply appreciated, and then in the future, when you open the letter, you can have that reminder of appreciation. You might want to write down some goals that you're working on between now and that time period. So it might be, by the time I open this letter, I really hope that I have And that can be really interesting, because if you open the letter and you've got there, you have this sense of pride. If you open the letter and you haven't got there, you've got a chance to look back and review. Did those goals mean enough to me? Am I still working on them? Have my priorities changed? And so it can just give you something to reflect on a little bit. It might be goals as in things you've already achieved during this period, to remind yourself how proud you are that during this time you've managed to do certain things. I've put things to remember, and I guess what I mean by that is it might link to the gratitude, but it might be sort of tips, or sometimes the way we talk to ourselves isn't always as kind as the way other people talk to us. So it might be that you put in a bit of a mantra to say, always remember that you are enough. It might be remember to always do your best, or remember I can overcome things if I put my mind to it. So it might be things to remember in a motivational sense, but it could also be things to remember in terms of, really important memories of this time that are significant, that you appreciate. And the last one I've put down is challenges, and that might be challenges that you're going through right now, because maybe when you open the letter in the future, you'll have finished those challenges and you'll want the reminder of just how far you've come. But you might also be writing about challenges that you've already overcome, to remind yourself what you are capable of doing and how proud you are, because we're always going through things and they seem tough when we're in them, but when we're out the other side, we sometimes forget to give ourselves credit, and that can be a really emotional boosting thing to read about, especially if it's coming from you. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just some ideas of what to include. But I guess a little bit like journaling, the process of writing these things down and thinking them through can be quite therapeutic. It can help you to be reflective and recognise your priorities. And then, as I said, in the future, when you actually open the letter, you've got that little bit of a motivational boost and a little bit of connection to your own inner voice. You can compare yourself to the past and see how far you've come, as well as seeing what things you still want to be working on going forwards. So I hope that you enjoy that, and if you have any other ideas of things that could go in it that aren't here, feel free to drop them in the comments. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.